All right, we are back with another episode of the Good Time Podcast. We are here with one of my favorite people, one of my favorite drummers, someone I consider a very close friend, and someone who we're really excited to have on the podcast, Mr. Ralph Alexander.
Oh, you're too kind. Too
What's
kind.
up, dude? It's great to have you
Good to
on
see
here,
you
man, and
guys.
it's awesome to virtually meet you as well, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, likewise. I've seen your videos for years now, so it's nice to finally chat with you.
That's cool, man. Likewise.
Yeah.
Where's
so
everyone at?
Well, I'm in Dusseldorf, Germany. It's 9:50 p.m. here. And Joe?
I'm in good old Rochester, New York. It's probably the most
thought you
random
were-
place ever.
Oh, you're based in Nashville, though, right?
No, I'm based up here in Rochester.
Oh, why did I think you were in Nashville? I wonder who. I don't know.
Dude, it might be the cowboy thing. A lot of people think I'm from Texas. Some people think I'm from Arizona. I mean, I'm all
That's
over the
right,
place,
yeah.
but I'm actually in New York, funny enough.
Oh, sick. That's awesome.
Where are you based out of?
Nashville. Yeah.
Oh, you are in Nashville? Wow, okay. Damn,
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
people are in Nashville.
Yeah. No, it's blowing up. Anthony, how much longer are you in Europe?
I have a few more weeks. I have about 2.5, 3 weeks. So I'm getting to that point where, I'm getting to that point where I can kind of see the finish line on Master Tour. I open up Master
Yeah,
Tour
yeah.
and I'm not too far away from the end, and we're having a really good time out here. But we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about.
Well, I was gonna say because
You.
I'm gonna be there in like 2 weeks, so maybe we'll cross paths.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah. Dude. Brings me. I have an idea that Master Tour needs to make a function where you can sync calendars to check out about days off and stuff. But
That would be awesome.
yeah. So we're here with Ralph Alexander. Ralph, how did you get into playing drums?
Oh, I always wanted to play, and for years I begged my mom for a kid, and I think she did what a lot of moms do, like, why don't you just play piano or violin or something that, is more pleasing to the ear, I think, for most moms. And anything's more pleasing to the ear for most moms than, like, a beginner on a kit. So I asked her for a while, and she kind of held off as long as she could, but then I think she just kind of realized that it was a done deal. And at the time, she was dating this guy who was himself a musician, and he knew like the greatest drummer in town, where I grew up in Wilmington, North Carolina. And he was like, "Hey, I'll get you a lesson with my friend Tony Mallard, and here's a pair of sticks, here's a practice pad." And he set me up with my first lesson, and I sat down, and Tony was like, "All right, well, what do you know? Play something." And I was like, "I literally know nothing. I have no idea what to play." And he's like, "Well, can you play this?" And then he sits down and he does, just a basic, the first groove everybody learns, right? 2 and 4. And I said, "Absolutely not. That seems crazy. I don't think I can possibly do that." And I was like, just show me like drummer stuff. Like, what do you work on when you're here?" And he starts playing, and it was like, I would love to have a video of that to see what he was playing that day, because to my ears at the time, it sounded just like completely insane. And I'm sure it was, because he's an incredible drummer. But the combination of just always wanting to play, the right place at the right time, with my mom was dating this musician who was totally supportive of it, and then just having Tony in town being a phenomenal teacher, and I think just a lot of things came together and just started that way. And on the other hand was just a mix of influences. Like, my brother was really big into music, still is, and he had bought this Led Zeppelin triple disc live record called How the West Was Won, which was a bunch of shows from like, I want to say like 71, maybe 70 or something, like they were doing the Forum in LA. And it was a collection of songs from all these different places they played on that tour. And it was just, Bonham. How do you beat that for your introduction to drumming, right?
Oh, for sure.
God, I wish I had an intro to drumming like that.
What happened next from there? Did you like join a band locally and start playing with some kids, or how did the band scene come about?
Funny enough, my mom got me my first kit, and we got this really cheap. It was called CB Percussion. Do you guys remember those?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
the
Oh,
cheapest
yeah.
of cheaps kit. Yeah, yeah. she got that kit, and the one thing she said when she got it was like, before I get you the kit, I just want to make sure that you're really into this. And I was like, yeah, of course I'm into it. She gets the kit, and I play for like a week, and then I don't touch it for like a month or two. I was like, whatever, but yeah, and then I think I just really started like studying that Led Zeppelin live record, and I was like, I got to figure out how he does this kick thing. I got to figure out how he does that fill. Like, it just all sounded crazy. And that would have been, I would have been 13 then. And then when I got into, that would have been 8th grade, right? So my buddy Adam Wepler, he and I formed a band with 2 of our other friends, and we just started jamming like really easy covers, right? So I think we did Blitzkrieg Bop, Smells Like Teen Spirit, like a Green Day song, When I Come Around. We did a bunch of like really basic, just get into playing in a band kind of songs. And we practiced in my mom's shed that she had at one of her houses, and it was just like super hot. Growing up in the South, playing out there in the summertime, it was like no air conditioning. It was just, but we were thrilled. Like, we just go out there with this shitty PA, a kit, and some amps, and just fuck around on these songs. And we ended up playing, our first show was the 8th grade formal at our middle school. And I think to this day, I mean, bar a couple of other like unforeseen things, but to this day, I don't think I've ever been more terrified on stage in my life. Not even close to the terror of that first show. But it was also excitement, right? Because you're like, all your friends are there. It's just like, it probably was like 70 people, but the fact that it was all your friends and your teachers and like parents and stuff, and it was like, I remember going up there and playing, and I had a little drum solo, and it was just like, this day, like there's no show that we've done, like that I've done with Pop, that any of these like big shows that we got to do this last year that compare to that level of terror at that first show in the auditorium, which is hilarious.
That's
like how that works. Yeah,
I know. I mean, yeah, I know the feeling. I mean, we've already talked about it quite a bit on the podcast about like what it takes to become a professional, and as you grow with the instrument and being comfortable on stage and all that stuff. So we'll definitely come back and hit some of those points.
Yeah.
So did you have a love before drums, or was drums the first thing that you latched onto and you're like, I'm going to do this for a long time?
Yeah, acting. I want to be an actor.
Aha. Tell us about that.
I mean, I wanted to be an actor since I was like 5. I think I did my first theater production. My mom signed me up for. I think I was 5 or 6, and yeah, I was obsessed with being an actor.
That's so awesome.
It makes sense that like I transitioned over to a different type of whatever, having eyeballs on you kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my first. I've only had 2 passions. It was acting, and now it's just music. So.
Did you pursue that in school, like take like drama class or anything like that?
Yeah,
or?
I was in the school play of Annie that would have been 8th grade. So that was the year that I started playing drums. 8th grade was like the last time I was in acting, and we did Annie, and I think I had like 5 roles in that production. I did a bunch of different ones because we weren't that many kids that wanted to do it. Once I heard Bonham, and honestly, when I heard Lars, like, funny enough, you guys know the song "I Disappear"? "I Disappear" by Metallica.
Yeah,
you
guys of course.
Know that one? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That came out. That was on the Mission Impossible 2 soundtrack. And when that movie came out, I was like, holy fuck, dude, Tom Cruise, like, this is so awesome. But then I heard that song, and I was like, damn, what's Lars doing over here, dude? Doing the 16ths in the hat. And I had these, we had these chopsticks at the house, and I started playing them on like the table or the fuck it was. And I think that was it. I think Tom Cruise and Mission Impossible mixed with Lars and Metallica got me into drums. Transitioning from acting.
Oh, all of a sudden acting's not that cool anymore.
Yeah, Lars sticking his tongue out on this video. They're playing out in the desert, man. That shit's cool. I want to do that.
That's cool.
It changed my life. Yeah, maybe changed whole directions.
Yeah, really.
Okay, so where was the part in your life where you were like, I know I have a moment. I have a very specific moment. Do you have a moment or a year or a time period where you decided, okay, I'm going to do this professionally?
Professionally, or that I want to do this for the rest of my life? Because I think there's a difference. It's like everybody wants to be a rock star, whatever the dream is, right? wants to do that for the rest of their life. But then, like, do I want to be a professional and suffer for a decade until I get like a decent gig? Like, that's a different thing. You know what I mean?
Well, that's right. That's I know you. I know, like when you fell in love with drums, you were like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this for a long time." Like
Right, right.
you know what I mean. And everyone has that moment at some point where every drummer has that moment. But I'm talking about the moment where you're like, "Okay, I'm ready to like put it on the line, and something bad is gonna happen, and I'm gonna double down, and then something bad's gonna happen, and I'm gonna triple down, and then another really bad thing, and like you're gonna run into like what was that first thing? Because where you decided I'm actually gonna go for this with like everything.
I got, so this would have been December of 2009. I went out to visit my mother because she'd moved out to LA because I was out of high school by that point. So she's like, see ya, I'm going to Los Angeles. So I go out and visit her, and we drove by Musicians Institute in Hollywood. And I had seen that logo for years in Modern Drummer because they always had like the second page or something was always Ray Luzier on
It was
his. I
always
think it was
Ray.
when
I know.
it was always Ray, and I think it was when he had the Orange County kit. It was back in those.
He's
It was
like one of their
pre-corn.
biggest success stories. Yeah, they've
Yes,
just used it. Yeah.
yeah, pre-corn. I think he was still with David Lee Roth. Anyway, I mean, marketing, right? I knew that logo, that clicked, and I was like, oh shit, that's that school. That's that thing I always see in Modern Drummer. And we went and did a tour, and it was incredible. I mean, that place is great. There's always like rivalries with these music schools, but I think really they're all teaching in so many ways the same information, right? Fucking paradiddles, doubles, singles, like technique, all this shit. There's just something great about being in a space where there's just musicians learning. I just think
Mm-hmm.
that's amazing. So MI was amazing. I
Mm-hmm.
went through, we walked through, and I talked to the admissions guy, and he was like, well, I don't remember how much it was. It was like X amount a year. And I was like, there's no fucking way I can afford that. That's goodbye there. And my mom was like, she wasn't going to do it because she's very much like, take care of yourself, do your own shit kind of thing. So I was like, well, that sucks. I guess I'll go back to my burger restaurant that I work at. And the guy goes, well, we're actually doing a competition right now. There's a full scholarship thing happening. And I was like, okay, well, what's that? And he goes, well, you make a video, which I'd never made a video before. This is like pre-Instagram and YouTube, pretty much, right? And like making drum videos is like, you can make a drum video now in 5 seconds. It's not like everyone does it, right? But back then it was like,
Yeah.
I got to get a camera and I got to record really nice sounding drums. Like, that's crazy.
We were just
Make a
talking about
video.
this last episode.
Yeah. And it's like no one had iPhones like this. Like, you can make a great drum video with just an iPhone and the Yamaha, whatever the hell that thing is.
Straight up. Yeah.
EAD. Yeah.
So he's like, go home, make a video, post it to our website, and you have to promote it, and you have to get votes to get you into the top 10. And anyone in the top 10 by this date gets called back. We'll fly you out, and then you play for a panel of judges, which is just their teachers. And then if you win, you get a full scholarship, and first place is a full scholarship and like 10 grand. And I was like, fuck yeah, that sounds great. When does it start? And he goes, well, it already started like a month ago. And I was like, fuck, I'm already a month behind. Like, everyone's got all these votes already. Like, I'm fucked.
Brutal.
So
Fuck.
we get back, and New Year, this is a true story. New Year's Day, I had been back for like a couple weeks, and I just hadn't done anything about it. And I got back New Year's Day, New Year's Day, I was at a party. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to fucking go for it. Because at this point, it's been 6 weeks or whatever it's been going on, but I don't care. I'm going to make a video. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try. And the next day, I started taking steps towards that. I made a video at a friend's house who let me do his tracking. And then I had another friend show me how to do video software, which is like, who knew how to do that? Made a video, posted it, got the news station in my hometown to do a story on it. Like, I hustled. I got a Facebook page just to promote it. Got into the top 10, got called out to California, played. I think it was like me and another drummer, a guitarist, or two guitarists, a bass player, some keyboard players, some singers, whatever. It was like one of everything-ish. And I got first place. I won it.
No
And
fucking way, dude.
Yeah. And I moved home. I moved away from home, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks later. They're like, great, you won. The the first
How did I
quarter
not know this
starts.
story? See, I've known Ralph. How did I not know this story?
That's a sick story, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. I just never told it, I guess. So yeah, I went from a small town with really, I was playing in like 6 bands, but they were all playing around town. It wasn't like
Of course,
that.
yeah.
To answer, this is a very long-winded answer to your question of like when did I want to be
That's
professional,
okay.
but it was that moment of being like, oh, this is for real. Like I'm out here at school now. I'm out in Los Angeles. I won this thing like out of nowhere. It was like a lightning bolt of opportunity out of nowhere, and I
Yeah.
started at school, and I mean, my mom was my fiance now. She makes fun of me, but I was like, I'm not ashamed to admit this. I didn't date for a year and a half that I was there at school. I was there every day. I practiced every day. I worked on all of our assignments. I was in my drum lab constantly. I didn't have sex. I didn't do anything for a year and a half but go and shed, which is like crazy to admit that, right? But to me, that's like that's when I
No, dude,
decided it was gonna be.
that's respectable.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, well, in my mind, I was like, well, if I get good enough and I get big enough bands, whatever, I'll have it for the rest of my life.
Dude, no,
But
Yeah,
for
yeah,
that,
yeah.
I'm not surprised that you're where you're at because that's what you need. Like that's inspiring. If anyone out there is listening to this and you're trying to become someone, Ralph just went out and was like, "Fuck it, dude. I'm gonna take this chance. I'm gonna sign up even though it's late." You got to just take every opportunity, and you just were grinding in there. Wow, that's
because
awesome.
not that I didn't have like a big head or anything, but when I got there, they evaluate your playing to see where to put you. And I was in there, I was like,
Yeah.
dude, listen, Wilmington, North Carolina, they know me, okay? I'm in like 6 bands. I play the Soapbox, I play Lucky's Pub every weekend, kind of a big fucking deal. And he was like, all right, show me how fast you can play paradiddles. And I was like, how fast do you want it? And he just puts on a click at like, let's say like 140 or something. And I was like, fuck. And he goes, can you read that? And I was like, no. And he goes, well, what can you do? I was like, I can play Raining Blood. Like, what does that get me? And he goes, level 1.
Hell
You're
yeah.
in level 1, kid. So it was like
Holy.
the most humbling experience of my life, and a lot of like really terrifying experiences of just like the finals and teachers like evaluating you, and I think it was the greatest thing that ever. Really honestly the greatest thing that ever happened to me professionally was winning that and starting everything.
Dude, that's a massive, that's massive. Yeah. I mean, okay, so you're in school. The goal is to like play professionally, but at that point, I'm gonna take a guess that you had no idea what that even looked like. You sort of just heard about it and kind of were meeting people who did it professionally, but you were still figuring out like what it actually meant to be, a gigging pro. So what was the first gig that you got and when did it happen? Like, because a lot of people go to these schools with the expectation they're going to walk out with a gig, and that's not the case all the time. I think
Yeah.
that in this current day and age, yeah, it's not the case. I have straight up had people from Berkeley DM me going like great drummers. Be like, how do you get a gig? I'm like, I mean,
Yeah, I don't
Just
know.
get out
That's
there
I
such a
don't know. How
early.
loaded.
do you get a gig, dog?
I mean, there's obvious answers, but it's also like such a loaded question because the landscape changes constantly. Like,
Well, let's narrow it down to like what was your first gig that you got paid money to play drums and go on tour?
that would have been CRX, and that was a band with Nick Valenci from the Strokes. He was doing a side
Hmm.
project that I'd known him for a while on a personal level, but we never really played together. And then he asked me to come join his band, which I was like thrilled to do. Um, but that happened. I don't know, 5, 6 years after I graduated school. I mean, there were years after I left school, which was like extremely humbling, right? Because I left school, I'm on this high, like I've worked my ass off. I'm the best I've ever possibly been. An inconceivable amount of growth has gone into the last year and a half. I get out and it's literally like you get out of the school, they close the doors, and now you're just on the street. And you're just like, figure it out. I mean, they had auditions at MI. Like I know, like Adam Lambert came through looking for a band one time, and Social Distortion came through, and there were a couple like CeeLo Green before everything happened to him. He came through looking for an all female band. Like they had auditions, which is super cool. but they didn't always pick people. And honestly, I don't know anyone that got those. I know one girl that got the CeeLo Green gig. So, I mean, as cliched as it is, it really is just relationships. Because when I got out of school,
Yeah.
I knew a guy who knew a guy that got me into a band that didn't do anything, but I did that band because the guy that was producing it was a big deal, and then through him, I got to the next thing. It was always like a little stone, then a slightly bigger stepping stone, and then a little bigger one, and then a bigger one, and then a bigger one, and then all of a sudden now you have like the stepping stone that you need to survive, which is where I'm at now. So it was like I always took gigs that that had something in it to get me to something better.
Yeah, I was gonna say that like this is a part of the reason I've like always had so much respect for you, and because I feel like we've grown like a deeper friendship is you and I came like other than the music school part, the story is very similar. It was like a long and slow road of like very small wins and
Yeah.
a period like you went through your super practice period. I also went through my super practice period. It was maybe the little bit of a different timeline, but there was a moment where I was like, "Oh, I'm not good enough." I think I was like 21 or 22 and I was like, "I am not good enough to do this. Like I need to get a lot better." Maybe it was like 21. But from like 21 to, you know, 27, 28, I practiced like a lunatic, and I still practice a lot, and I know you do too. And I just feel like there's a lot of crossover there. So, okay, so you're growing gigs, you're doing this gig, you're doing that gig, bing bada boom. How did the Poppy gig come along?
Yeah, so I'll give you the shortest version possible because it's a crazy story. I'd moved to Nashville. This was 2014. I was here for a year. I was here with a band that, I mean, to this day, every one of the guys in that band, they're like my brothers, they're my best buddies. But the band just didn't work out for a couple of different reasons. It was like a blues rock kind of band, and so I moved here because we like this is where it is. In LA, we were great and motivated, and as soon as we moved to Nashville, everything got easier. We all got girlfriends and started doing stuff, and the band took a back seat, and it just fizzled out. So I find myself at the end of 2014. We were in this condemned house out in the woods, and it was just like, man, where's my career going? Like, I'm learning country songs to go play down on Broadway, which is nothing wrong with that. It's totally respectable, but it's not what I wanted to do, right? I don't want to play Jason Aldean songs unless I'm in Jason Aldean's band, right? So
Zach, I was gonna say, yeah. Unless you're getting
unless
Jason
I'm Rich
Aldean
Redman,
pay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Just a crazy thing that happened at the time. My mom she worked for Robert Downey Jr. and he has a kid who is similar in age to me, similar influences, and he's a guitarist singer. And one day I just got a text out of the blue, and it literally said, "Hey Ralph, this is Robert, India's dad. Would you be interested in coming back out to California to jam with my son?" And I was like,
India's dad.
I was like, "Yeah, let's do it. That sounds great." So I moved out to California. I go back, and I basically lived with them for 5 years. That would have been 15 to 2020. And I had this duo with Indio, and we played and did shows and gigs, and it was a whole thing where we lived together, and it was a lot, and we did a lot. We made a great record together, and it just didn't work out. So I ended up leaving at the end of the year, I think 2019. And the management company that we had at the time was MDDM, which is the Madden brothers from Good Charlotte. They have their own management company.
Mm-hmm.
And our manager at the time was also Pop's manager. So when I quit, which I always, by the way, anytime anyone does this, you always have to post this stuff. I don't know why people don't do this. Anytime you leave a band, you have to announce it because people need to know that you're available. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think there's there's no
It's
shame. I don't think there's any shame in announcing that you're not in a project anymore because people need to know. Like, there's so many things that you have to spell out for people these days. The fact that they're going to somehow know that, oh, so-and-so doesn't play for so-and-so anymore. Like, they're not going to fucking know that. So the first thing I did was announce that I'm not doing this anymore. And I got hit
people
up.
do it on LinkedIn with like regular jobs, you know?
Yeah.
That's like totally par for the course with regular jobs.
Yeah.
update your resume and let people know. When I left my band, I always announce it for that reason. You know, you got to let people know. And that's also why I repost content all the time too. You can't expect people to just know your every move from one post. So I feel
Right.
that.
Yeah. And your Instagram, for better or worse, is your resume now. Just is.
Yeah.
So I
Yes, it
put a thing
is.
up there. I made sure everyone knew that I was available. And Pop's manager hit me up and he was like, "Hey, do you want to join Poppy's band?" And I really didn't know anything about her. Honestly, I knew that we were on the same management company, but I hadn't really checked it out. And I actually told him, I was like, "Can I have a night to think about it?" Which is
Wasn't it like
hilarious.
6 years ago? But wasn't it like 6 years ago? Because 6 years ago, Poppy's different than now, right?
No, she'd blown up already. I mean that was the I disagree cycle, and she was
Oh,
already doing
time
great.
flies.
So
Was
in
that like a
my
big break type of moment when that came about?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And because I remember
Yeah.
I said, yeah, okay, let's do it. So they put me on a call with the MD, and immediately we started talking about things that I had never talked about before. He goes, well, what's your rate? And I was like, fuck if I know. What's the typical rate these days? Because I'd been living in this like live-in situation with Downey's kid for 5 years, right? Where like everything was taken care of, there were no questions asked. Like a typical rate wasn't
Yeah.
anything that I was used to. So I was like, I don't know what's standard. And like Anthony, you and I have talked about this that people should talk about money more often. Like it's like, oh, okay,
They
2K
should.
a week, right? And I was like, great, that sounds awesome. Because at the time I was totally broke, and that was great. So we jump in,
Yeah.
we do. Um,
And was it
I
in a
actually had
bus?
to. Yeah, it was my first bus tour. It was the first a lot. It was my first really hired gun gig ever. So it was a
And were
lot of
you
new
a?
things.
Did you have a did you have a drum tech or like a backline help at all, or were you
Yeah,
teching yourself?
yeah. No, we had a
Full
backline
crew
guy.
right
We
off the
had
bat.
That's a great setup. If you're coming from if you're coming from no gig into that, that's awesome.
That's fucking sick. Yeah.
yeah. So that was, and I was ready to move out of LA that week. Like I was planning on leaving, and I got that call
Wow.
from MDDN, and it was. I mean, it's been 6 years now. It's like that's to me.
Wow.
It's been the greatest gig. It's to me these 6 years so far have been a lot like that year and a half at MI, where it's just like intense, constant learning of because I never know what I'm gonna get. Like when I get new songs, it's just like it could literally be anything. So it's just constant.
Yeah.
You gotta
Yeah, the
stay on
music
top
is
of stuff,
nuts.
and yeah.
Yeah.
So now you're in Poppy. You got this gig. I know, like, I want to talk about your drum setup because I know you play Ludwig and Zildjian. How did all of that come about once you joined playing with Poppy? Did you just get flooded with endorsement opportunities, or?
We did that first tour. I didn't have a single endorsement because I hadn't done anything up until
Yeah.
that point. I mean,
Yeah.
playing with Iron Man's kid they don't care about that. That's not
Yeah.
nobody cares. You know,
Yeah.
like Ludwig doesn't care. They're just like, oh, cool, whatever. Um, so I knew. Here's the thing with endorsements, and I think a lot of people don't understand this because I was a victim of that for a long time. It's like you get to a certain point you're playing, you're just like, I'm fucking awesome. Like, don't they understand that like I can play these things and like why wouldn't they want to give me free shit? There has to be an understanding with companies of like you have to offer them something in return for these things, right? Like Ludwig does not want to send anyone kits just to send them a kit. Like Zildjian does not want to send anyone these symbols just to send them symbols. Vic Firth, whoever it is, you have to be doing something that offers them some kind of exposure, right? So just being really good, and there's a million amazing players out there, isn't enough, right? So I never wanted to hit these people up. I knew exactly who I wanted and what I wanted to play. But I was not going to hit them up until I knew it was like a slam dunk, right? So I knew in the email that I would send out to like Ben and Uli at Ludwig, I wanted to be able to say, here's my playing, here's some videos that have a good amount of views, because that is important. And here are the tours that I'm doing coming up. Because that's what they really want to see. Like, are you really
Mm-hmm.
doing stuff? And I waited until I did not prematurely pull the trigger on any of these endorsements until I knew for a fact that they would be, um, they could see that I was doing stuff. So like we just done the Grammys, which was during COVID, so it was like
Smart.
remote thing, but it was still like obviously still a big deal. Did the Grammys, we had these tours lined up, U.S., Europe, and I had some videos that had done pretty well for my page, and I had also having someone that kind of gets you in the door a little bit. So like Jeff Friedel, do you guys know Jeff from Devo and played with APC for a long time? Ludwig
No.
guy, great drummer,
I don't
a
know.
lefty drummer.
Oh, hell
He's a
yeah.
Ludwig
Okay.
guy. I hit him up and I said, "Hey, can you give me just like the guy's emails? And is it cool if I mention your name in the intro, right? Because nobody wants to like have their name used if they didn't prove it, right?" So I wanted all those things checked off before I emailed anybody. So I emailed Ludwig like, "Hey, Jeff Friedel gave me your email." Right off the bat, they know I'm not just cold emailing them. Like I have a contact. I play for Poppy. These are the tours we have coming up. Here's a video. We just did the Grammys. I love your product. I played Ludwig since I was 13 years old. XYZ, blah, 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 done. And like, that's what else could a rep possibly want to see, you know? So I think for guys that are going for endorsements, you have to have something to offer, at least in my dinosaur brain. Maybe these days, like having a huge TikTok page is all you need, which maybe it is. I don't know.
Well,
That was a wave, but that kind of died off
there's
now.
a yeah,
Really?
there's a I think people are well, the thing is back in the day, like when we were kids, we bought drums because our favorite drummers played that stuff. Like
Mm-hmm.
I when I remember doing that as a kid. I remember buying Aquarian heads when I was a kid because Chris Adler from Lamb of God used Aquarian. That was the only reason I
Right.
bought them.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
as an adult, yeah, and as an adult, I mean, no knock on Aquarian, but I got three brands ahead of them on my list. So it's not that it's just that it's just that there's just I have my point is I made purchasing decisions based on drummers that I like looked up to or whatever. And I think what
100%.
people have caught on to is just because you have a bunch of followers on the internet doesn't mean that you have drummers looking up to you who are going to make purchasing decisions because of you. And I think
Right.
brands are now catching on to that because they're like, "Oh shit, we've given out too many kits to people who really are just bad at drums and have horrible taste." And that doesn't so the people watch like if you're bad at drums and have bad taste, the people watching your videos, guess what? They probably don't have great taste. So it's
Yeah.
anyway.
No, I
So
mean,
okay,
I
sorry, I
bought
interrupted it.
no. I bought a pearl rack, which I most certainly did not need in any sense whatsoever, because Joey Jordison had a big ass pearl rack, and
There you
I
go.
drug that thing
There you
all
go.
over town, played these tiny little stages in my
Mm-hmm.
hometown with my blues band. Like we were doing Hendrix and Zeppelin covers, and I'm up there with a fucking massive pearl rack because Joey Jordison has one.
God,
That's
Playing a
true. I mean, that's just
35
how.
minute set. No.
Yeah.
that's what we did. That's what we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got some endorsements. The Poppy gig's going great. What's one piece of advice you could give to your younger self?
Like technique wise or just like career wise? Because there's a million technique things I wish I would have known as a kid. Yeah.
Think about not necessarily drumming. It could be any advice. Like, for example, we had Matt Horn on here recently, and the drum tech, and he said he would just tell himself to like not worry as much. Like things work out when you're like a good person. You work hard, things work out.
I never had that problem. Even when I saw friends of mine get opportunities way before I ever did, I don't know. I always felt really happy for them, and I always because it came from a place of security, like being secure in myself. Like I always knew, like, well, I'm gonna have a gig someday. I'm gonna go on a tour. That
Mm-hmm.
looks really cool being on a bus. I'll be on a bus one day. It's just not the time yet. It's not the time
Mm-hmm.
for
Love
me.
that.
It's their time. So I don't think I ever felt really jealous of anyone. I don't know. I think like the conversations you and I have had so many times, like I truly find happiness when I know that you've gotten something that you want, which is great, and I want that for
Right.
every drummer out there. So I don't know, a piece of advice I would just say,
Don't buy a giant rack when you're playing bars.
yeah. I don't know. All I can think is like technique stuff. Like I wish I would have known a few things when I was younger. Like just practice your feet as much as you practice your hands, I guess. I don't know, stuff like that. It's all that
Yeah,
can come to mind. Okay, well actually no, here's a good one. Here's a good one.
Yeah.
Get into songwriting. Because what we're all doing out here as drummers, there's a ceiling
Totally.
to what you're gonna get. Your rate is your rate for the rest of your life, right? It can go up, but there really is like even the guys at the crazy, crazy levels, like Taylor Swift's band, there's still a ceiling. And
There's
that
still a
ceiling
ceiling, right.
pales in comparison to whatever the number one song is right now, making for that producer or that songwriter. So I think one of
Yeah.
the big things, which I used to do this a lot with my band with India, was I did a lot of songwriting, and it was great. And I haven't done it in so long because I've just been so busy with
And it's
with
hard.
pop stuff.
That's right. That's exactly what happens. You get so busy playing drums that it becomes this thing. But also at this age, it's so hard to like rebrand yourself as a producer versus if you had been producing and writing songs since you were a teenager while simultaneously working on the drum career. There's not that many people who've been able to like pull it off. Colin Britton, who's now playing for Linkin Park, this guy's producing everything.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking like, dude, this guy figured, he kind of cracked the code on it.
And you know what his finances probably look like? He's probably like Tiger Woods. Remember how Tiger Woods is like, I don't spend any of my endorsement money. I only spend my winnings, or whichever one was like
Yeah.
way tinier than his endorsements. Colin's probably like, I only spend my gig money, and all my producing money is just
Yeah.
saved. You know what I mean?
Stacking.
Yeah, it's
Like,
just
the shows are just like fun.
Tiger.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tiger famously made so much more money on endorsements than he did on playing.
Yeah.
He made a lot of money playing golf too, but the endorsements were paying,
Like more than double.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
making, $200 million a year or whatever in endorsements. If you weren't playing drums for a living, what do you think you'd be doing?
Yeah, I'd be an architect or an engineer or something. I love building shit. Like,
Same. I love like designing buildings and like I love architecture, looking
Yeah.
at a building and thinking about how they like started on paper and they had to figure everything out. I'd probably be an architect with you, dude, to be honest, if I
Yeah.
wasn't a drummer.
oh, there's plenty. Well, okay, there's two things, right? The
Dudes
serious
will just
answer
see
is
buildings and be like, hell yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh yeah.
We built that, dude.
rocks. Like we've been walking all over Europe being like, that building was built in the
14
year
what?
1200. Like,
Right.
did
Yeah.
aliens build it? How was that built?
That's so true.
what do you know there's a cathedral in Germany. You probably saw it. It's like blacked out
in Cologne?
and it has the Roman arch
Yes.
in front of it.
Yes. What city is that in again?
In Cologne.
Yes, it's in
Is it
Cologne. I've
Cologne?
been there.
Okay, so it has
Yeah,
the
it's
ancient
epic.
Roman arch in front, right? You guys know what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
Yeah,
the viral
cracked up.
TikTok one and they put that Silverstein video over it or song over it. Or
Maybe.
The Cologne Cathedral. Yeah, I've been here.
I think it's Cologne, yeah.
yeah.
I always
I've been
laugh
viral.
at that arch. That arch always cracks me up because if you stand and you look through it, there's a McDonald's on the other side, and you're just like,
Oh.
they fucking built this thing like to have a time lapse through that archway that ends with
Dude.
McDonald's. You know,
That thing was built. That thing was built in the year 1200. 1000. The year 1248. That's when it started. It probably took hundreds of years to finish it. But I was walking all over Rome the other day, like 2 weeks ago, and there's so much good food in Rome. It's insane how much good food there is in Rome, and it's
Yeah.
cheap. Like the best pasta you've ever had in your life for like €8 or €9. Dude, I was walking around and I saw a McDonald's, and there's very few places I even care or think about it. But I just thought, like, dude, you can't, unless you live in Rome full time. If you're in Rome and you can't go to McDonald's, that's not. We're not doing that type of
I
shit on
fuck
this
around and do
podcast.
that shit all the time, dude. I know though. You
Don't
shouldn't
do that, Joe.
I go to Serbia and go to Taco Bell, dude. Holy shit.
I at least kind of see it in Serbia. It's just when you're
Yeah.
in Rome. Rome is, that's what I was trying to say. A place like Rome, it's like you can't even turn around without seeing a place with banging ass pasta or
That's
pizza.
fair.
Yeah.
It's like getting Sbarro in New York City. You just can't do it.
Yeah,
exactly.
dude.
Exactly.
Atrocious.
My tour fantasy, whenever I have a really hard day on tour, and my fiance knows all about this because she'll ask me. My
Oh, I have fan.
fantasy,
Yeah, I know. Okay, I know what you're getting at here.
my fantasy on a hard day
You're
of
all-
tour is always a small little bait and tackle shop somewhere in Alaska. I'm just sitting there.
Hell yeah.
I'm just making flies, and I'm just selling flies to people. And I'm just like, yeah, no.
Hell yeah,
fish are
dude.
really
I
biting
love
today.
fishing. What's up?
If I'm having a hard day on tour, my girl can tell. She can hear it. My voice or something. She'll go, "Is today a bait and tackle day?" I'm like, yeah, today's definitely a bait and tackle.
Oh my god,
That's lit.
I love that,
That's fucking sick.
dude.
Yeah,
That is another dude activity.
dude, just making flies.
You
Fuck.
wanna be-
Have you ever went fishing on tour on a day off? I
No,
take it you
but
have,
actually-
right?
No, for my birthday though, my girl got me my first lesson with fly fishing, which I've always wanted to try. I just never have. So I went out and I was actually like practicing my cast with this guy, and we're gonna honeymoon at Yellowstone this year, and we were thinking about maybe getting a guide and doing some fly fishing. So,
Nice.
but that would be awesome to have like
Dude,
because some people have like clubs and stuff on tour. It would be nice to have like a little rod and reel out there.
Oh, dude.
Oh,
I would,
dude, yeah.
for
There's
a day
people who
off.
bring it. I won't out him, but there's a guitar tech I know. Actually, I'll out him. He's awesome. We're gonna have him on the podcast. His name's Pip. He guitar techs for Falling in Reverse, and he just did Seether, and he's done a bunch of other bands. He's the man. He brings around a portable. He's super into darts, so he'll bring like 3 sets of like expensive, really high end like darts, and he brings his own like in a case his own target, and he'll bring like tape and a measuring thing, and he'll measure out the line because with like Falling in Reverse, the crew dressing rooms, they're in arenas. The crew dressing rooms are like massive locker rooms, and so he's always
Yeah,
setting this board up, and then he'll
Oh,
do it
yeah.
outside if he can.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing with like drumming or and honestly anything in music. Like all of our jobs started off as hobbies, and then they became jobs. So it's like I've been on this quest to find a hobby forever. So I think it just like whether it's darts or fishing or cars or whatever it is that you get into, it's like I think it's really healthy for all of us to have something outside of this because
Yeah,
it's not
Yes.
a hobby anymore.
Dude.
It just isn't.
dude. Yeah, mine's golf. You should try golf. It's not a hobby. So how do you feel? How has your relationship changed with drums now that it's become a job? Like, talk about that a little bit.
I mean, it's all I ever think about still to this day. Sometimes you definitely wish, like as a kid, I don't ever remember feeling like I wish I wasn't thinking about this so much, and now you do, and I think that's kind of the difference. I think sometimes it'd be like I really would just like to be present right now at this antique shop with my girl and not thinking about, all right, tomorrow I'm going to start off with this technique and I'm going to work on this stuff. It's like I don't want to think about that shit right now, but it's impossible not to, right? Or you think about like, oh, I just got the set list for this next run. Yeah, that one's not crazy, but this song is going to come after that one. That's going to be a little taxing. I might want to like breathe a little more on this one. It's like it just never fucking stops. And I think as a kid, it's like there was no time where it wasn't exciting. Like I never being in science class, it's like fuck. I don't give a fuck about biology. I would love to think about practicing, and now it's like the difference is I would love to be able to turn that off sometimes. That would be great.
I was gonna say, do you think part of that is just because like some of the poppy material is just so difficult? Because for anybody listening, if you haven't heard Poppy's music, go listen. Some of the songs you'll hear and you'll go, okay, that's not too bad. But then some of the songs you'll hear and you go, that is really, really hard to play on drums, and it's very difficult to sustain at a high level. We were just talking on the last episode about tour fatigue and how I'm 4.5 weeks into a tour, 5 weeks into a tour, whatever. I'm starting to feel a little tour fatigue. Dude, when you're doing a 7-week tour playing drums for Poppy and you get to week 4, things hurt. So, how do you manage that? Do you think that's a part of it? Do you think that's why it's so hard to kind of unwind a little bit when you're off the road, because you have to keep your body ready to go? It's like being a professional athlete or something.
Yeah, honestly, it's just a lot. It's a realization that I don't have the luxury, and drummers in general don't have the luxury of not being in like some relative form of good shape. Like you have to
Mhm.
exercise, you have to do something, even if it's just getting up and like running around your neighborhood every morning or something. Like my routine every day here at home is I get up. We have this big ass hill right by my house. I run up and down that hill 5 times every morning, and it fucking sucks, and I hate it. But I feel great after. And I was just my girl and I were just talking about this, and I was like, I think I really like doing like the worst possible thing of my day right in the beginning, because then the rest of the day is so easy,
Getting it
right? It's
off the
like,
way.
well, hey, at least it's not that fucking hill. I fucking hate that hill. So I'll do the hill.
Yeah.
I'll run that, and then I work out for like 2 hours every morning, and it's just cardio and just doing stuff because it's like a lot of these kids that are these TikTok kids that are just like I feel like when I was a kid it was like Shannon Larkin and a few other guys were just like these big fucking like crazy all over the place, and now it's like all these kids are doing this, and
Yeah.
I was
Everybody
like
can. Everybody.
everyone's just like fucking wild. And I just think, yeah, you're all early 20s, but wait till your neck snaps the first time. And you're just like, I can't headbang like that anymore. It's like, enjoy it while it lasts because
Mm.
it's not going to
Yeah.
last forever. So you better be like a really good player all around and not just like this wild fucking maniac back there because that goes away. It's like, it's like
Yeah.
looks.
Yeah. You can't play reckless forever.
No. So I think drummers, especially, you have to be in some form of decent shape, moderate, intermediate, great shape, whatever it is. You just have to, because you'll fucking die out there if you don't.
Ralph, here's another one. I think this is a good question. What's one band you wish you could fill in for?
Ooh. Well, two immediately come to mind, and they're both wildly different. One, Queens of the Stone Age, because
Oh,
they're
Hell
one
yeah.
of my favorite bands of all time. Like I think in like the hierarchy of like modern, really old school badass rock and roll bands, Queens of the Stone Age is just the best to me. Like Foo Fighters is obviously top. Like they're just the biggest rock and roll band.
hmm hmm
But Queens is like those guys are on a whole different wavelength in my opinion. Like those they're all
I
just
agree.
such monster players. And I'm lucky enough to know Theodore on a semi personal level. So like anytime I see him, like we always say hi and stuff, and it's always like a
That's so sick.
challenge for.
He's such a sick drummer, dude.
He's the best.
He's
It's
such
always
a
a
sick
challenge for me
drummer.
to like
Yeah.
not fangirl when I'm around him. I'm always just like, yeah, man, what's up? Yeah, it's good to see you. You doing good? No, yeah, yeah, me too. Yeah, it's all good. But I
I know
think
that
doing a thing
feeling.
with Queens and like okay, so you guys want to hear a good Josh Homme story? Because I got a good one. Um,
Sure.
we were in Europe. This was a CRX. This was Valenci's band, and Josh was handing out shots the first day of the tour, and it was an arena, which is my first time ever playing an arena. So I was already like so excited, right? Everybody else in that band was like, everyone's in arena. This is not a big deal. Meanwhile, I'm over in the corner just being like, this is fucking awesome. Josh comes in again, huge Queens fan. I've been a huge fan of his for 20 years, whatever it is. Comes in with shots. I don't drink. Never had a drink in my life. And
Brutal.
he comes in, he's got shots, he's handing them out, and I'm like dreading when he gets to me. And sure enough, he gets to me and he hands me the shot, and
Oh,
I
brutal.
was like, oh man, I don't drink, but thank you, I really appreciate that. And he just puts it back. I'm like, nah, man, really, I'm good. I don't drink. Puts it back. I was like, and then there was like a split second thought in my mind. I was like, well, if I ever was gonna drink, this would be
It
the
would be
most badass first drink of all time. My first arena with one of my heroes handing me a shot, and I was like, but I don't want it. I'm just not interested. And I was like, nah, man, I'm good. So then for like a week, 2 weeks after that, just cold shoulder, like barely would acknowledge me and
Oh,
stuff.
brutal.
Oh
And I was
no.
I was crushed. So we were playing a festival in Hungary, and I'll never forget this show. We're out there playing, and like I was going hard every day, but it was the day that he finally was side stage. He was watching our set, and I see him over there, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking destroy these drums today. And I went just like full on over the top TikTok drummer, big ass movements, like you name it, I was doing it all. And I had a great show, and I was like, this feels great. We get off stage, I don't see him anywhere, and I was like, well, I hope he watched enough of that because I fucking played my heart out. And I'm sitting down, I'm catching my breath, and this crew guy comes out, one of their crew guys comes over, and he's like, he has beers, and he goes to hand me a beer. And before I can say, no thanks, man, before I can say anything, Josh comes out and goes, he doesn't drink. And I was like,
Oh my
he
God.
He goes, that was a great set, man. You played fucking great. And I was like, really? Oh, this is great.
He likes you.
Yeah. So Queens would be my first choice because those guys, like, I look up to those guys so much. They're just so incredible. My second choice would be Chris Stapleton because I think Derek is like a phenomenal drummer, and those songs are so awesome. It's just like pocket and feel for days.
I'm going to listen to Chris Stapleton after this call. I'm not kidding. Yes.
Yeah, those are great answers right there. I wasn't expecting the Chris Stapleton one, but that's good shit.
We were just talking about the homies watching Side Stage, literally on the last episode, and Mark Tremonti is on this tour. He plays guitar in Alter Bridge and in Creed, famously, and he wrote all those Creed bangers. He's like one of my favorite guitar players of all time, and I've gotten to know the guy, and he's such a good dude. And whenever I was just telling Joe last episode, like whenever he's standing side on this tour that I'm on, when he's standing side stage, I'm always like, all right, it's fucking time to play, man. Like,
you know what?
And then next thing you know, he's like looking at his phone and shit.
Yeah.
He's like talking to that sound guy.
Like, yeah, I know.
Like as a kid, like you have all these preconceived ideas of like what quote unquote making it would be. Whether it's like a Grammy or $1 million or playing whatever. Like I had my ideas of like, oh, when I played Madison Square Garden, I've made it. And then you do it and you're like, that was incredible. I'm so glad to have done it, but I haven't made it yet. To me, what I've learned over the years, my idea of making it is when people that you've respected and looked up to for so long treat you as a peer. Anytime that happens, I'm just like, well, that's making it 100%.
Yeah, that's a good indicator for sure.
100% agree with that. Whether it's other drummers or other guitar players, singers, whatever, when you get that sort of nod of approval from someone you look up to, now you can just tell they're looking at you like, oh, this guy could play drums in my band. Like he can obviously play. He's a great drummer. Once you get that, it's like, oh my God, it's the best feeling. It makes kind of everything. Ralph and I have talked about this before, but like nobody can take away what we've like put into the instrument. You know what I mean? It's not for the rest of my life. You can't tell me like, I know I'm not the best drummer in the world, but you know, I got to a place where like, I wanted to get, you know, what I wanted to get to with my playing. So, okay. What does a day off on tour look like for you? We got to wrap this up in the next like 5 or 10 minutes. So we're going to do this question, then we're going to ask you 4 quick ones to end it.
A day off for me is like, for me now, like starting out, a day off is always like, I got to go see everything in town. I got to see everything. This is great. But then once you've been to like most cities a handful of times, you're just like seeing the cathedral or like resting up, because rest is, to me, on tour, rest is the most important thing by far. Like being sick on tour sucks. So as boring as and unfortunate as this sounds, a day off for me now is really just being in my hotel room, getting as much rest as possible, eating, door dashing something healthy, because it's like you don't get that option that often, right? Getting a little workout in, and just like I'll do something near the hotel if people go out. But really, my days off of like getting the most out of it, whatever that is, of like exploring all day, I don't do it as much anymore, unless it's a city that I really love and there's someone there that I need to see. But like any wild exploring, I don't do much anymore. I really prioritize rest as much as possible, because I think that's the key to like it's the key to getting through these like really long tours. You can't overdo it every day.
No.
boring, but
Dude, it
it's
really
what
is
it
a testament. I know we no, I know we covered it earlier, but people need to hear this stuff, man. Like it is so I cannot explain to people the difference between somebody playing in their basement and somebody going on tour and doing it every night for 7 weeks. It is a different ball game, especially when you are playing stuff that is incredibly difficult like you are. It's so admirable. It's inspiring, and when you hear that you have to spend your days off basically recovering, it's psychotic to think about that. So hats off to you, man. I mean,
True
I'm in the middle of it
professional.
right now. I'm not playing shit that's that hard, but I had one of those days today. It's like a light workout. I sat in the sauna.
Dude,
I'm gonna sleep a lot tonight. You know,
I don't even think it's really like, obviously a difficult set is a difficult set, right? But to me, like by far the most draining thing is just being constantly uncomfortable every day. Like I don't have I'm here at home, I have X amount of spaces I can go that I love. You know, I have a reading spot that I can go hang out. I have my studio. I can hang out on my couch. I can hang out, watch TV with my dog. I can spend time with my girl. On a bus, it's like you're at the whims of 12 other people, and like so it's like I think a combination of that exhaustion to me is like everyone's show is difficult for everyone's show, right? So it's like if you're playing Derek from Chris Stapleton, his show is difficult for him because he's like very focused on certain things. Your show is very difficult for you because you have certain things that you're focused on. Mine's difficult for different reasons. Joe's show is different for him. It's like everyone's show is, you know, I think it all kind of evens out, and I think the hardest thing on tour is just not being it's being out of your comfort zone 24 hours a day. So
I think 24 hours and just
Agreeable.
the constant state of being in motion wears you out. It just does.
It wears you out.
Yeah.
It's fun, and it's definitely not for everyone, but it's I 100% agree with everything you said there. What's your favorite part
Yeah.
about touring? What's the best part about it?
I mean, the best part about being on tour is the show, by far. It's
Absolutely.
playing the show, seeing kids get really excited when they know what the next song is. Like that's always fun. Sing-alongs whenever there's a big chorus that everyone's singing along to. That's always crazy. Like we have a song called "New Way Out." It's the closer every night. There's a line. There's a vocal part at the end of the bridge that goes back into the last chorus, right? Where she sings by herself. But when it's our show, everyone knows the song, right? So the whole crowd sings it. Like that's always fun. It's just like, you know, the age old cliche. It's like that. Those 90 minutes, whatever it is on stage, make up for the rest of the 22 and a half hours. It would be, right? 23 and I don't know, whatever, something like that.
Okay, what's your least favorite part about touring?
Not getting any sleep. I don't sleep well on a bus.
The worst.
I wake up 5 or 6 times a night, every night. And you wake up, you can't see shit. I don't care how the bus driver could be going 15 miles an hour, but when you wake up out of a dead sleep, it feels like 200 miles an hour every time.
It's the worst. It's the worst.
It's a constant. Anytime they hit those fucking rumble strips, you're just like, well, that's it. Had a great run. That's awesome.
Yeah,
but I guess
you wake up and just have a moment of, yep, it's done. It's over. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sleeping,
fucking brutal.
and anytime you get sick, fucking sucks because it turns
God, it's the worst.
like the greatest thing in life into the absolute fucking worst thing in life. There's nothing worse.
So true, bro. What the fuck?
Talk
You gotta
about-
take vitamin C packs every day. That's a tour hack.
Yeah.
Talk about when
absolutely.
you talk about tour fantasies. When you are sick as a dog on tour, you're like, "Huh, I wish I just had to like answer emails for a job. I just want to like take some sick days and fucking sit in my bed all day, and you just can't. You
wanna
could
go
just
home.
you just
Ugh.
you can you just want to go home, but you have no option. You have to actually get up and do an incredibly physical activity in front of people.
Yeah. Like my girl and I have code words. Like if I have a really hard show, if I'm sick, she'll be like, "Was tonight a show or was it work?" I'm like, "Tonight was work for sure. Tonight I
sometimes
clocked
it's-
in." It's like it either you're sick and it's the worst, or you feel great and it's
Crushed
the
it.
fucking it's Nirvana. You know.
That's so
Yeah,
true. What the fuck? I never even thought of it
it
like
is
that.
true.
That's basically true.
Yeah.
Hit or miss. Okay, what city because you've been all over the world. What city has the best crowd?
This recent Lincoln Park run we did down in South America, there were some
South
crazy
America,
kids.
bro. Yeah.
We were in,
Yeah.
which is funny
Brazil.
because like that's a cliche now of like come to Brazil, right? Like everyone says
Yeah,
that in
but
comments now. Come to Brazil, come to Brazil.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
there
yeah.
there really
Been going
were
on forever.
some fucking crazy shows down there. And then Europe, states are tough because we have so much here. It's like kids here don't battle.
Mhm.
Like we have to battle for their attention from so many things. But kids down in South America or Europe, it's like it's a little different. They don't get at least American bands as often as Americans do, right?
Were there fans waiting at the airport?
Yeah.
At the airports you flew into?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's like
So-
that down there. It's insane. And like
They're not doing that at Kansas
bands
City,
like
I'll
that
tell you
are
that
big.
much.
No,
Huh?
no. And bands that are like big, bands that are big in America, like A Day to Remember, for example, they go to Brazil and they need like 24/7 security. They're
Yeah.
like the Beatles. It's been awesome having you. We have one more question.
it.
3 dinner guests, dead or alive.
Fuck, man. That's okay. Well, first of all, Beethoven. Not to sound like some like pompous crazy asshole, but like Beethoven, like the way that dude was like a nobody, and he has one of the hardest quotes of all time. I'm gonna read it to you because I have it fucking framed in my studio. His quote is so fucking awesome.
I saw his
It's,
I saw his grave like 3 weeks ago
Yeah,
in Austria.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, his quote.
In
the
Vienna,
context
right?
of this quote.
In Vienna, right.
Yeah, he was. Those guys those composers back in those days, they all had benefactors, right? Because they didn't make any money, so you had to have like a prince or someone like an aristocrat or someone of nobility finance your shit. So he had this prince that was like, "Hey, I want this song written about me," and it was like, he had this constant struggle of like having to deal with these royal dickheads that thought they were amazing. Meanwhile, he's like, I'm actually an artist that is making shit that will last for centuries, and you're gonna talk down to me, which is like a revolutionary frame of mind back in those days. So he has this quote that I had framed. As soon as I read it, I immediately had it framed. It's fuck, I want to read it word for word.
That's okay.
What you are by accident of birth. What I am of myself. There are and there will be thousands of princes. There's only one Beethoven.
God
I mean,
damn, that is
Mic
gangster.
drop.
I mean, he put that in a letter and sent that to this prince, basically being like, "Dude,
That's
I'm Beethoven.
so
Who the fuck are
gangster.
you?" So
Fuck you, bro.
yeah, to me, that's like one of
Okay,
the
so
most
Beethoven?
badass quotes of all time. So I would have him there. He'd probably be pretty surly and probably not a great guest, but it would just be awesome to have him there. Bonham, just because of how much he means to me, it would just be awesome to. And he seemed like he was like a really nice guy that would talk drums. So I think he'd
For
be a
sure.
great guest. Man, the third spot. Fuck. That's so tough. Oh, God. I'm trying to think of like someone that would have the definitive answer for aliens. Like who would know for a fact that they're real? I'd say Beethoven, Bonham, and I don't know, man. I think maybe I bet Hendrix would be a wild hang.
Oh yeah, he'd be awesome. He'd be a great guest.
He'd be far out there. Maybe I don't know. That's all I got.
Yeah,
I like
All right.
it.
Those are my.
Well,
That's a great
that
dinner.
works, man. Well,
What were your
dude,
three?
we really
Both of you.
appreciate you coming on.
What were your three?
Oh, I've never answered it on the podcast.
Well, that's how we'll end it. I need you both.
Well,
to
you
answer
think,
your
man?
three.
Off the top of my head, Kobe,
Oh,
LeBron, and Tiger Woods.
damn! Full
Nice.
sports mode, huh?
John Bonham. You know,
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one. My pops, and then I would go. Let me see, Anderson Silva. There we go, legendary UFC
Oh
fighter.
shit, that's a good answer.
Damn,
That's what I would do.
it'd be a fun dinner.
Dude, it was fun talking to you. It was really cool to have you on. And thank you for taking the time to chat with us, man. It was dope to
Yeah.
virtually
Hopefully we
meet
can.
you.
hopefully we can hang out in person sometime soon. Just hit me up anytime if we're
Absolutely,
passing
man. I
through,
would
or
love
if
that.
you're passing through Nashville, hit me up.
Also, Ralph, we will eventually do a part 2. We're definitely keeping this going. This is going to be episode like 8 or 9 or something. We've been like soft launching it. So, but yeah, we're going to keep this moving. But in a few months or a year or something, we'll do a part 2 and ask a whole different series of questions. So, thank you for the
What's up?
time, brother. It was awesome having you on here, and we will talk soon.
I always got time for you guys. Just hit me up. Be
All
safe
right.
out there.
Peace.